You know, by the time 1968 was rolling around, this Latino artist, who also happened to be blind, which was a double against him in relation to people who would respect his entertainment talent, was getting bigger and bigger. A cover of Light My Fire by The Doors and other good hits led to several Grammy nominations, wins, including Best New Artist. And when Jose Feliciano was asked to sing at the World Series in 1968 between the Cardinals and Tigers, nobody thought it was going to be very controversial because, again, Jose was a very respectful person. He respected all the people that would listen to his songs and his concerts, but it got out of hand. Some people, some right wingers in the States, wanted him arrested for singing the anthem in a traditional kind of Latin jazz style. Now, on October 7, 68, at the height of protests against the Vietnam War and, of course, black rights and gay rights and a myriad of other problems, Feliciano was invited by the Tigers broadcaster, Ernie Harwell, who was put in charge to set up the anthem singers for the Tigers games in Detroit, to perform the Star Spangled Banner at Tiger Stadium in Detroit during Game 5 pregame ceremonies. Now, the version of the anthem he did is kind of like what's been done recently in recent decades. It's an interpretation, but it keeps to the level of respect of the song. Now, you see various international artists. I mean, I think of the Nylons during the Canadian anthem at the Blue Jays World Series. Other American and Canadian interpretations of the anthem. It's more like what do you say? How you read something off like a poem. That's what these anthems are poems or or tributes. Now, his personalized slow Latin jazz performance proved highly controversial and damaging to Feliciano's career in the months, even years that followed. Harwell got a lot of crap as well, and some people threatened to fire him. Some listeners thought he had desecrated and disrespected the national anthem, but when asked about it, he explained that the reason he offered a non traditional rendition of the anthem was to get people to pay attention to it. Now, in November 2017 NPR broadcast, he expressed pride in being the one to open the door for artists who would later interpret the nation's anthem. And of course, there's been some negative versions like Fergie and Carl Lewis, but par for the course. You're going to get 5 or 10 that are bad and 1,000 that are good. His World Series rendition, which features Feliciano accompanying himself on acoustic guitar, was released as a single and that charted for 5 weeks in the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 50, the first time the United States anthem appeared on the American music charts. That recording of the national anthem is now in a permanent exhibit in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. See, as Canadians, we saw Jose Feliciano as just a continuation of the Latin explosion in music in the States and Canada. You look at Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass, various Spanish artists and what do you call multilingual artists. Feliciano could sing in Spanish, great singer in English. And later on, I don't know if that motivated him to do this, but he gave a gift to the world just a short while later. In 1970, he released an album of Christmas music along with Rick Gerard, one of his close collaborators, originally entitled Jose Feliciano, festily resembling a Christmas present in gold wrapping with a big green and red bow. Later, the album would assume the name of his most likely selection, that of Feliciano's composition, Feliz Navidad. During the recording process, Gerard had suggested that Feliciano write a new Christmas song for the album. Feliciano thought it was impractical, but again, reminiscing about his childhood in his home area of Puerto Rico, and soon Feliz Navidad was born. This song's been covered internationally by thousands of artists, becoming a traditional part of the musical landscape around the world at Christmas time. Each year during the Christmas season, Feliz Navidad remains one of the most played and most downloaded songs of the season. Is also recognized by ASCAP as one of the 25 all-time most played Christmas songs in the world, and it is the Grammy Hall of Fame. So he later did the Chico and the Man theme, and he had a whole bunch of what he called performances and guest starring roles and all that. But Jose Feliciano made history in 1968 by saying, listen, I'm a musical artist, I'm not taking sides, this is how I'm going to interpret the song, and it was beautiful. And as a Canadian, I've seen different versions of the U.S. anthem and the Canadian anthem. Later on, you saw Whitney Houston's version and all that. In times of what they call change and direct movement on things, sometimes an anthem can bring everybody together. I know for a fact I never thought that the American national anthem would be a pop hit. And there we had it. And I was only 4 or 5 at a time when this happened, and like I'm saying, this is pretty bizarre. Why would so many people mad? Were they mad because it was a Latino that did that? I think that's the problem. But like I said, and by the way, there wasn't too many Latinos on the Tigers and the Cardinals, so you figure that out. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our baseball history podcast, let us know what to like, comment, subscribe, or share. And by the way, if you have a chance, you never heard the anthem before, finding on YouTube, you're going to be pleasantly surprised how good Jose performed it. It's very chilling how patriotic it is, because it doesn't take sides, which is what the anthem should do. And by the way, if we wouldn't have invaded Washington, War of 1812, you wouldn't have a fucking song to begin with. So blame Canada, say like South Park. Thanks for listening. Bye.